What's up? Um, I'm not dead. I feel like I have to start every video off like that, that I'm not dead. Mainly because there's huge gaps in between my content. And if you subscribe to this channel, you'll probably notice that. You'll notice there's a really large gap between each and every video. Like I think the last one was like 6 months, 8 months, or something like that. But I'm not dead. Let me get that out of the way. And in this video, I kind of wanted to combine a lot of stuff that I wanted to talk about in other videos that I never got to do because of severe lack of motivation and whatnot, which is a word you're going to be hearing a lot in this video, so just keep that in mind. Um, I wanted to do a lot of separate videos about different topics, R211s and Eastside Access and blah 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 blah. So I said, hey, I'm just gonna just do it all in one video. It will save editing, it will save time, and I can get this done by hopefully the next week or whenever this comes out. So where else other than the start than the R211s? They're obviously the talk of the town. They've been the talk of the town for quite a while actually. We got our first 10 sets. I forgot when actually. I wanted to have my iPhone with me to kind of see all the data and the plot points and all that stuff, but it'll probably be somewhere. I'll open the screen, whatever the information. We got them a while ago. They did testing, burn-in testing, back and forth between yards, up and down, the flats and the rockaways, doing testing, yada yada yada, whatever. And then they officially went into revenue service for their 30-day testing on March 10th. I believe it was. It was March 10th. And not going to get into what happened on the first day because it was kind of chaotic. I really don't want to get into that, but it was, aside from the chaos that happened, if you know, you know, but aside from the chaos, it seemed pretty okay. Me, Fred, and Techno actually all went. I think week 2 of the first day testing, and we had fun. We really enjoyed those cars. Um, it's it's just amazing to actually see it in person, opposed to actually seeing it pictures and stuff like that. But I'm basically going to be talking more about the R211s and like my thoughts about it. So, um, design wise, beautiful. It looks absolutely gorgeous inside and out. Propulsion is really nice. Spacing is very good. The doors themselves, I know everyone, I know it's always said, or it's said everywhere that the doors are wide, but until you see it in person, like I said before, if you see this thing in person, the doors itself is huge. Like, there's a little corner in like most new tech trains, like the 179s, 160s, 143s, where it's like at the front of the A cars, right by the front door and the cab, there's a little space there, which was where the foldable chairs used to be before the MTA took them out. That space on the 211s don't exist because the doors are just huge. Um, they have the floor mats on there. I know I talked about that before in my first video, but what can you do? But basically, yeah, the R211s are gorgeous, and I'm really excited to see them kind of have a good future here in the MTA. The future of New York City Transit, as I said before. The plan is to have, believe, three types of R211s. The R211As, which would be the base ones. I don't remember how many we're getting. Then there's the R211Ts, which are the open gangway ones, which we actually have. We have two 10-car sets, so we have 20 cars. Which one of them also actually did a press release thing with the MTA. They ran it on the down the express track on Culver, I think it was. We have two sets. There's the soft shell and the hard shell, which they're doing that to kind of test out which one works best for the system. Honestly, I think it's the soft shell I like the most because it has it's inside design where you kind of walk through the cars. It reminds me of a lot like of a articulated bus and how it looks on the inside with the little scrunchy pieces and how it kind of arcs around. Whereas I think the hard shell is kind of more like just very boxy. Um, but it's different from the concept. I will say that it's very different from the concept of the entire train. But if the 211Ts go well, then we will have our 211Ts along with the A's. And lastly, the R211S, with the S stands for Staten Island, which not much has really changed from the S and the A model, except that the S is getting cab signaling because the Staten Island Railway uses different signals compared to the rest of the system. Which that actually we got like a 5-car set. I don't think it was this month. I think it was last month or the month before that. We got a 5-car set. 100 to 105 or 104. Don't really remember, but it actually powered on a couple of weeks ago in Coney Island Yard. I would show a picture of that, but I don't really have the credits to that. So everything's going somewhat smooth, or at least what you think it is for the R211s. But then when you look deeper into it, it's really not, because the 211s has had its fair share of problems. There's a whole there's like a list of problems that they've had, ranging from they move when the doors are open, which Techno actually caught on camera once when we went, and they also have door issues, electronic issues, and all that stuff, dead motors. So hopefully they fix the kinks and they kind of start to, perform better. Which I don't want people to compare them to obviously the Lemons, which the former I should say, because every train has issues when they start coming in. I mean, there are some that don't and some that do, but no train is perfect. Hopefully they iron out the issues and all goes well. And I'm really excited to see the 211 S's actually doing some testing out in the flats or burning testing, whatever. And I'm interested to see too the signs, which from the picture that I've seen of it being powered on in Coney Island Yard, it was a diamond and I believe an orange SI. Now, in my mind, I always thought that the destination sign would just say SIR, and then the top one would just say wherever it's going to, but I guess not. SI works too, as well. The announcements is another thing I want to know. What are they going to do with that? Are they going to have like the Catherine? Are they going to have Catherine announce all of the Staten Island railway stuff? Are they going to have the new person? I forgot her name. Are they going to have her do the announcements, or is it going to just be text to speech AI generated? Who knows? We have to wait and see until some leaked images or videos of the R211S's pop up on the internet. So we got to see until then. So yeah, R211 is cool in my book. Lastly, the last thing I want to actually touch up on as well was the design of the train. I think I said this before in my last video from years ago, that I love the fact that the 211s are a mix between modern and retro. Ignoring the whole the blue face and the blue stripe things, I think that as a whole, its design is nice. It's the fact that they brought back the bullet being on the side of the front of the train is perfect, because it's a callback to trains past, R42s, R62s and the A's, R68s, etc., etc. And the fact that it's multicolored, it's not just red, that is beautiful. I don't know what they were thinking with the 160s to have it just be all red. You know, I got a message. I'll get to that later. Um, I don't know what they were thinking with that, but I think that the call for the 211T is to have a multicolored sign inside, side, and outside is good. There's only one thing I really have with the R211, a really a glaring issue that I know that a lot of people talked about. It's the fact that the signs outside and inside are too small. If I have a picture, I'll put it somewhere behind me. But the side on the front, let's start with that one. The side in the front, the concept showed a bigger sign, whereas the actual sign is smaller. It's like a bezel kind of going around it. Okay, so my phone was low on battery. I can't see now from my watch. I have to turn it back on Bluetooth. But what was I saying again? I lost my train of thought. Yes, the signs. But the R211s has a bezel around the front of it, and I wish it didn't. Not that it didn't exist, but I wish it was a little bigger. Because if it's a bigger sign, you can put more words on it. Because as it stands right now, for the all the signs, and I'll get to them in a bit, is that you can only fit so much onto the sign. That I feel like in the event that there's a word or a station that's too big for the sign, it's gonna just have to scroll. I think that's just the case. I feel like they can, although we haven't actually seen it in action. Excuse me. We just have to wait and see. The side sign is the sign on the sides is actually one of the worst victims of this, and the interior too. But we will get to that last, because it's the same thing. You can't fit a lot of words onto that sign, but the side sign kind of gets a pass. The front sign and the interior ones kind of really don't, but the side signs do not get. The side signs do get a excuse, because the windows themselves are smaller to compensate for the bigger doors. I understand that. That's fine. But I hope it scrolls. It can scroll to compensate for the fact that you can't fit a lot of words onto them. And lastly is the interior one. I have a picture too, put it somewhere around here. That's how the sign on the ceiling. There's a camera, I think, on either both sides or one side, but the sign itself is small to compensate for that too. But the question is that they could have made it a tiny bit bigger, because now programs for the ceiling sign is a lot longer than it should be. Whereas on a normal sign, it would say A to Inwood, the next stop is Far Rockaway. On other signs, on the R211, it would say to Inwood, 207, the next stop is Far Rockaway, then show the time, and then repeat. Again, I don't know what was going through their head when they made it that small. But it is what it is. We just have to deal with it. I think the signs can also do other things too. Like, I know I saw clips of them online where they can kind of show what sides the doors are opening on, which is very nice. I like that. It's very other transit agency like the TTC, I think. The TTC. TTC. And speaking of signs, I know I'm going all around the place, so I apologize for that. But speaking of signs, the interior, the signs, the ad signs everywhere are all digital. It's not the case for the pilot set, but it will be for the production version. And there's also have signs on the walls too. I think every wall or a couple of them. I think that's I think that's cool. It looks very futuristic that way. But my only concern is the people of New York. You know, they break it, it's going to be really expensive to fix. But I digress. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the R211s. Moving on to something else that was also a long time coming Eastside Access. Remember that? Remember when we had to sit and wait for Eastside Access? Yeah, that was fun. Eastside Access got done, I believe it was the start of 2023. It was supposed to be out by December. That's what the MTA said, but it got delayed. And for every week it got delayed, there was the random report. I don't know, like New York Times or something like that. They keep talking about it being delayed, and why is the Eastside Access delayed? The MTA promised it in December. Why is it being delayed? And it's just like it was every week. I remember that. It was very annoying. So to have it be open in the first place is like, okay, finally it's out. There were still problems with it. I think they actually canceled. They didn't cancel. I'm sorry. They held back the release of Eastside Access because I believe of a ventilation issue or something like that. But they got it fixed, so that's good. I haven't been to Eastside Access yet, but Fred has. And from the pictures, it looks very beautiful. Very nice. It has that like white aesthetic that Hudson Yards has and the SAS has. Artwork is also very nice too, as well. It's like an upper layer. I think there's 2 layers. Like a top floor and a bottom floor. But yeah, it's basically underneath Grand Central. The official Grand Central. The name, I don't like. They should have just called it Grand Central Terminal, not Grand Central Mass. I know they want to be different from the actual Grand Central Station, but what's the point? You know, I don't think there's really any point. Yeah, Eastside Access, when it opened, looks good and all that stuff. But then came the bigger issue, which was the schedule change to accommodate for trains going to Grand Central. The MTA decided, let's just remove majority of trains going to Penn Station, reroute them, and take most of them to Grand Central, half of them to Penn Station, and then a very few down to Atlantic Terminal. And this got everybody heated. It was on the news, of course. It was in articles. People were very upset about this. The MTA, I think they just owned up to it and said, you know, it is what it is. But basically, a lot of trains are now going to Penn Station and Grand Central, and very few trains come from Atlantic now. During most of the day, there's the Atlantic Terminal shuttle, and then there's West Hempstead trains, which no longer terminate at Valley Stream, which I'm a little sad about, but it is what it is. So Atlantic Terminal trains and West Hempstead trains are basically very frequent, and then is Hempstead trains, I think, and Babylon trains going to Freeport during like rush hour, and that's it. That's it for like Atlantic Terminal. So, God, it's weird. It's weird, but we gotta get used to it. Until the MTA feels like the pressure is too much, and then they have to change everything back to the way it was. Which I don't know if they're gonna do that, but whatever. Next topic, pretty short because I don't really have much experience of it. But the next topic I would say would be the 2023 Nova LFS diesels. They look good, cone heads, but Nova has not been pretty good when it comes to their track record. As of, I think, 2020 or 21, they have failed to properly deliver the LFS HEVs. And the problems with the doors, I'm not even going to get into that. But they're still doing the HEV order. They're not even done yet. Okay? And the diesel order was actually grounded, I think, this month or last month. They were grounded because of an issue, which caused a lot of buses to be shifted around, and that gave my buddy KT a very hard time because he has to do next stop news, and the DOB is over here doing something stupid. So, but aside from that, they look pretty good, I would say. I think they use the L9 engine. They sound pretty good. I've yet to ride them yet. I've yet to ride them. I want to ride one from Jamaica Depot because it's the closest to me. Either Jamaica Depot or maybe like Queen Village if I take the N25 up to late success. But yeah, they look pretty good. Of course, the next gens are also dying too because of that. A lot of next gens were being shifted and then killed. Hawkers and Spectrums and Lithiums, but you know it's their time. I think it's kind of I think it's not really surprising. And on the topic of next gens dying, we gotta talk about the 1800s because those are also dying too. A lot of them has died, and there's only a few that remain because of the 2022 Gillick BRT pluses, which I didn't want to make a video about because they're kind of the same as the 2021s. So I was like, what's really the point? There's nothing different between them aside from the numbers. So happy that I got more Gillicks, so it's cool. But yeah, there's only a few left, so catch them while you can. Because when those die, I think that's it. Like, the 1800s are the last buses that we have left on Long Island, I think, that were brought or owned previously by the MTA. So, and lastly, on the topic of nice bus, actually, on the we're still waiting for battery electric buses, which we haven't gotten yet, which I think was delayed because of a fire at a New Flyer plant earlier this year or in December. But New Jersey is getting there, so there's that. Hopefully it goes well for them too. For battery electric buses, I think one of the XE60s that the MTA is supposed to be getting 49 something. I don't really remember. It was spotted during a press conference, so you just gotta wait until that gets here. And yeah, so we still gotta wait for the battery electric. I think the reason why they haven't ordered them yet, or they haven't gotten into the process of getting them, was because I don't think the Nice Bus was ready for the infrastructure yet, and he probably wanted to wait until the 2022 Gillicks enter service and get their plates and all that stuff, because I think it was this month or last month. Again, I'm gonna keep saying that because I don't really remember. I believe this month or last month, the last 2022 BRT went into service, and that's like, wow, did we get them like last year? But yeah, I think they're trying to wait until that goes into those went into service, and maybe until the next gen start dying to then order the battery electric buses and then get the infrastructure ready. Because I think there was a request for a proposal on their website for components for chargers, I think. So when that happens and that's all said and done, then we can get our beautiful 6 XE40s. It's gonna be great. I hope it's not a repeat of the XN60s. That disappointed me because they only got like 6 or 5 of them, and then we never got Arctics again. There's probably more stuff that I haven't covered yet, but that was basically that was majority of the stuff that I wanted to make into separate videos, but I couldn't because of a lack of motivation, which is actually something I've always suffered with when it comes to projects, especially on this channel. I have an idea, a concept that I want to do, and then as time goes on, I lose interest in that topic and I don't want to do it anymore. I'm trying to fight that. I'm trying to fight through that feeling and kind of, finish my plate. And hopefully I get over that. I kind of get through that. So yeah, that's kind of about it, really. I think that's really all I wanted to talk about. Anything else that I missed will probably be a separate video, or it will be a short. The shorts are a lot easier to do, and they're quicker to upload, whereas the longer videos take more time because I have to kind of write a script, so I kind of have an idea, and and from there it kind of gets made in KineMaster. But yeah, that's about it. So I'm not dead. I'll see you again in like 6 months or 8 months. That's when knowing me. If you liked this video and you thought it was pretty interesting, give it a like, subscribe, comment down below on something that I messed up, because I know I messed up something. And yeah, if you want to see more content of me, but don't want to wait 8 months, there's always Zach and Edigo. That's kind of where I do majority of my stuff with Alex and co. And then we also have Derail, which is our gaming channel. Join that too. It's an absolute mess. You will definitely not regret it. And join our Discord server, which we also have if you wanted to talk to us. That will be in the description below. Join the voice chat and text channels and all that stuff, and have a good time. But yeah, that's enough for me, and I'm gonna go edit this video now. So I will see you guys in the next video. So until then, peace out.